Chaverot, in case you're not missing it, on this side of the table, Edie is giving a plug for our Tuesday Singing the Soul class. It is something unbelievable and phenomenal. I know, but she's only addressing it to, what's your name? Robin, right? Okay. Hannah Golda, she is, you have no idea what this experience is.
It's not a singing class.
It's not a singing class. It's a discovering your own voice and sing of your soul. And now that this theme, vocalization of your soul,
As it relates to
God bless Hannah Golda. She developed this thing of teaching it. It's unbelievable. Hashem should bless her with all kinds of happiness and nachas in her own private life and everybody here also. But it actually fits in to, it's amazing that I'm in between, Wednesday's in between Tuesday and Thursday. Yesterday was the Singing of the Soul class, and tomorrow is Neria starting her Do Thoughts Create Reality. And I'm here in the middle, and I'm going to be giving you a Zohar that is like so sweet, sandwiched between these two classes that address both of what these beautiful women are going to be bringing and doing. And it touched me deeply when I came across this. Now we have to give credit to our friend Chana Kotova. Did I say it right this time? No, it's like syllable. Okay, Chana Kotova. That she made me a condition. She's going to join our. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. If I give either from the best or Gedalia, or there was another thing. What did you say? It's on the WhatsApp. I don't remember what you said. It was, Likutei Halachos. And I said, okay. So this session will either bring from Baal Shem Tov or Gedalia or Likutei Halachos. Today, it's the Baal Shem Tov. And thank you, Chana Kotova, for suggesting this, because I don't think I would have gone to Baal Shem Tov on the Torah this time for this class, and I am so happy I did. So thank you. Be blessed. You have a lot of schus in this, and whatever's going to come out from this class. B'ezrat Hashem. So I open up Baal Shem Tov on the Torah, which I have to say I'm sitting next to Rebbe and Judy, and the copies I have of Baal Shem Tov the Torah, her dear late husband, Shalom brought, my Zechron Levracha, was my dear friend and colleague in Montreal. We taught together, and I have his copies, and it's so old, and there's no nekudot, and it's like half of it is Rashi script, but there's no way I'm upgrading it to a modern version, easy version. I can handle it. So Baruch Hashem, but it's also a little bit falling apart, but there's no way I'm not, that's it. These are my lovely copies, and it should be a schus for his neshama also, and everyone who needs a Yeshua and a refuah, and all the voices who need to be heard that are not heard, the chatufim that are in those tunnels still. Hashem, please hear their voice crying out to you and bring them out. And everyone else who has something that they need to express that's not expressed and is not heard. And you'll see how what I just told you comes directly from the Baal Shem Tov himself, quoting the Zohar Kadosh on Kedoshim Tihiyu. So I open up the Baal Shem Tov on Kedoshim Tihiyu, and the first paragraph is like, I asked myself, okay, where's the punchline? Why is this in Kedoshim Tihiyu? What follows in the subsequent paragraphs on Baal Shem Tov on the Torah, on this Parsha, he quotes psukim from the Parsha, and then he does, the Baal Shem Tov does on psukim in the Torah. But this one doesn't seem to relate to anything, and I had to think about it, and it was very profound. It was so profound, and it moved me, touched me. And I don't remember if I cried at that point when I realized it, but definitely inside I had tearful joy and deep felt meaning, and I was very moved by it. So I'm happy to share this with you now. So I'm going to screen share because Chana Kotova is here, and I know she likes to see the text, right? Like, because generally people here are not like they're okay with it, but so I'm going to read. So first, I'm going to just read. I'm going to just read what he says hopefully without interrupting myself too much as I go through it. And just have you hear what the Zohar has to say before we scratch the surface and get into the meaning of what it is. Okay, I see that I have to set up my desktop before I do that. Okay, hold on. Okay, here it goes.
And
There.
also this class should be for the refuah shlema of Zahara.
Refuah shlema of Zahava.
Yeah,
Who?
her name is Shana Golda
Shana Golda
Basima
should have refuah shlema. And if anybody here has anything else, so go ahead.
Nechama Bat Sarah Ita.
Nechama Sarita should have refuah shlema. I'm going. Dvora. What? Ora Bat Miriam. And I'm going to add the video Natan Ben Yael and
Tzipora Siska Bat Rachel.
Tzipora Siska Bat Rachel.
And Sion Ben Fela.
Ben Zion Ben Fega should have refuah shlema with Shachar Israel and okay. Esther Chaya Batzira. Okay, Bezat Hashem.
And all the other people.
And all the other people that all the psuim should get healing and everything. Okay, because they certainly have. Yeah. Okay. So fine. So this is it. So the Baal Shem Tov opens up Kedoshim to you. We have a double parsha this week. It's Achrimot Kedoshim, and I went straight to Kedoshim.
Everybody does. I mean, Shlomo's book also. There's no nobody.
No, the truth is, I started my preparing this year by first going to Or Gedalia because I love Chanukah Tova and she told me to, so I did. But I said, okay, this is something interesting, but let's see what the Baal Shem Tov says. Let's see if I want to do that. And so the Baal Shem Tov captured my heart, and he took over. And the only thing that the Or Gedalia does say in the Likutim on the Parsha, the holy Rebbes and the holy Chassidim, when it came to be the week of Parshas Kedoshim, they got such an elevated joy. They were like, they couldn't contain their joy. Wow, we're in Kedoshim. Something that also I got from Or Gedalia, like there's Kedoshim to you. The pasuk opens up with Kedoshim to you. Kadosh ani Hashem Elokechem. Be holy. Now, there's two ways of understanding this instruction, these words, Kedoshim to you. Is it an instruction? Is it a commandment?
It's a promise.
Or it's a promise. So, Kedoshim to you as a commandment is watch your thoughts, speech, actions. Make sure you're holy. Make sure you're walking around with projecting holiness and imbibing holiness and being aligned with holiness. And that should be what motivates you. Your everything that you do in this world to connect to Hashem, but vekas. But then there's an even more awesome, more deep understanding of Kedoshim to you is that you shall be holy. In other words, it's a promise. You may think you're never going to get there, but there's a promise in the Torah, Kedoshim to you, you will get there. We will all be Kadosh. We will get there. Why are you shushing me? I want to jump up from excitement and love that you're here. I can't. It's not me. You're asking me not to be me. I love you too. That's why I gotta welcome you and say how dear it is to see you. And welcome, dear friend. What's your name? Chava, welcome. But you have good taste in friends. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Thank you for bringing Chava. Okay, so Kedoshim to you, it's a promise. Now, here's the thing. The Baal Shem Tov opens up Kedoshim with this Zohar HaKadosh. Deleit lach milah v'milah. Oh, this is Aramaic. You want to hear it in Aramaic? And it's short, but it's nice to hear Aramaic. Deleit lach milah v'milah denafik mipumei delo itlei kala. Hahu kala salik le'ela. Ma de'ita b'Zohar HaKadosh. Leit lach kala delo salka le'ela. V'amar Adoni Avi. This is the Degel Machne Ephraim saying in the name of his grandfather, the Baal Shem Tov. He says, Afilu kala de makla. Zehu ein omer ve'ein dvarim. Eimatai bli nishma kolam. Perush kshelo nishma kolam, az ein omer. Aval kala bevadai salka im adibur le'ela. Just like which means, okay. There is no word that comes out from the mouth that does not have a sound. There is ein lecha milah, I'll read now in Hebrew. Ein lecha milah sheyotzet mehape she'ein lakol. There is no utterance, anything, no word that comes out of our mouth that does not have a sound, a call, a voice. And this voice goes up, lemala, goes up to the supernal realms. It rises. There is no voice, there's no sound that doesn't ascend up above. And okay, now, so the Degel Machne Ephraim is saying, he's quoting more from his grandfather, the Baal Shem Tov. גם הוא עולה קול שלו, שאפילו קול של מכה, רעש כלשהו, even any type of sound, like a clap, a hit, like throwing of a pebble in the water, or anything, any sound, there's sounds all over the place, there's sounds, anything that hits upon something else that creates a vibration of a sound, anything, שאפילו קול של מכה, רעש כלשהו, any type of sound, גם הוא עולה למעלה. This too ascends above. This is what's meant in the Tehillim. It says, אין אומר ואין דברים בלי נשמע קולם. It's a pasuk from Tehillim 19, that says, there is neither speech nor words. Their voice is not heard. Ein omer, when there's no one even uttering it, and there's no word spoken, bli nishma kolam. I have here the Chabad translation. Their voice is not heard, but bli nishma kolam can also be understood in the Chassidus and according to the Zohar Kadosh, without their sound being ascending. So even if it's not uttered, even if it's not spoken, there's no way that there is that sound of it, even if it stays internal to us and never gets expressed, is a sound that ascends. There's something, what?
The inner vibration.
The inner vibration, even if it doesn't come out. Isn't this amazing as a follow-up to Chana Golda yesterday? Yeah. And the their line of this sound, even the unuttered sounds that we make, words, speech, their line goes forth throughout the earth, and their words are at the end of the world. Okay, hold on. So now I'm going back to the translation. That is to say, the Zohar explains, when is there no omer, no one saying it, and there are no words? When their sound is not heard, but it's still a sound that exists. That's the deep meaning here. But the sound itself, the vibration itself within, even in unuttered words, vaday ole for sure goes up with the words. With the words, even if they're not spoken, but it's there, it's inside of us, right? So the deeper meaning. So now, like I asked myself. That's the end. That's how he opens up Parshas Kedoshim. Like, what's this? How does this relate to Kedoshim?
Oh, it's like if you're standing next to someone, it's like, if you're thinking bad about them, it's completely affecting them and the whole universe.
Exactly.
Not
Beautiful.
only them. Like, and if you're thinking good, it's completely affecting the whole universe.
Beautiful.
So why not think good?
Right. Which connects to Neria's class of tomorrow, because machshava yotzeret mitziut. Thoughts create reality.
Thoughts that we actually work.
You can't have words, even if it's internal words running through your head, that is not rooted in a thought that produced it.
Right.
Words are a product of thoughts. Words don't just show up. Right? So everything is kulam b'machshava tchila.
Sometimes we get these thoughts and we just love them. That's not something that just comes from nowhere.
It comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere, and then you have to do hitbonenut. Where did this come from, and why don't I need to hear it inside myself? It's calling me. It could be to make a biur, a diuk. Am I in line? Am I okay with that or not okay with that? Is it something that I've been holding on to that I need to let go of, or is it something that I have to see? Why is this in me? What is it calling me to introspect about and do with it? Is it to reject or is it to amplify? Yeah, it's deep. And B'ezrat Hashem, we'll get to a journaling exercise that I have after this that I prepared a little bit, but we'll see how it goes with the flow of the class. But I was thinking, yes, what Dina said on a personal level, we're very vibey people. We vibe things, and we project vibes, and even if we and we pick it up, okay. But Kedoshim Tihiyu as a source of it, of this vibiness, of words that are not spoken that are there anyway. What's the root of it? Everything has a spiritual root. So I was thinking about this, and what I came up with is Hashem is saying in the Torah, Kedoshim Tihiyu, either a command or a promise. Either way, however you hear it, it's there. It's the voice of Hashem calling out to us perpetually, that exists in the universe, in the world, inside our neshamas. Kedoshim Tihiyu. I believe that you are kadosh, and you just have to see it. And I created this beautiful world, and it's meant to be elevated to the level of holiness. The level of holiness is a very high level. It's a level that is above tahara. There's tahor and there's kadosh. What's the difference between tahor and kadosh? Tahor is someone, in halachic terms, is ritual purity. He goes to the mikveh when he has to. Okay. In the times of Beis Hamikdash, you touch the creepy crawly thing, you had to immerse in a mikveh to get rid of the tumah that you were affected by, and affected by. So everything is affects us. Now, tahara, halachically speaking, it's a technical halachic term. You do this, you don't do that, you stay away from these things, you're tahor, but you're not necessarily kadosh. You got the halacha right, but kadosh is taking that ritual purity and then bringing it into your neshama to elevate yourself from all kinds of other things that are not technically halachically asur, but affect your neshama anyway. And the translation or the meaning of kadosh is b'mutar lach, things that technically you'll be allowed to do. You could take the extra bite of the chocolate, but do you need it?
B'nei ata al tima'es. That's what the Tikkun Shalom talks about it. You're my b'nei ata is already the musar. You're my son. You're the son of the king. You're the daughter of the king. Behave like one.
Right, exactly.
You're allowed to eat. Behave like a holy person.
Right. But not to say it like that.
No, obviously.
Because we can say to a person,
Lo mat'im lach.
Lo mat'im lach. It's, in other words, you can tell a person, what kind of behavior is that? Or doesn't suit you. You're such a holy neshama, and already they'll be willing to hear it. Their vessel is ready. You're right. I'm a holy neshama, and I should behave in a holy manner. And so it's Kedoshim Tihiyu, and then the Baal Shem Tov relates this to be mindful of the sounds, not only of the sounds that we utter, that come out of our mouth, should we have said it or not have said it, but that you carry with you, that are not spoken. And the Zohar Kadosh, again, going back to it, he said there's no sound, there's no voice that doesn't ascend. Again, I'm thinking of the Chatufim. Yeah. Thinking of the Chatufim. The depths of their unheard cries and souls crying for redemption from that pit of wherever they are at. And they're just a representation in real time, in the worst possible way of being in a pit and not being heard. And we take that and we say, and we bring that into mindfulness that there's so many people that walk amongst us, and maybe we are some of those people. I know sometimes I am, that there's like a tzara that needs a Yeshua, and I can't even find the words to express it. It's just deeply felt, and the comforting words of the Zohar of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Zchato Yagן Aleinu, is that there is no sound that doesn't ascend and is not heard. Sounds are it's heard. You have to believe in the power of connection of tefillah, and the Baal Shem Tov says that is the key to Kedoshim Tihiyu, because he opens up Kedoshim Tihiyu with this. What does that mean? What does that mean to me? That there's a call. It's not just Hashem's voice in the universe that he created that says, Kedoshim Tihiyu, Kedoshim Tihiyu. Just let's hear it, hear it. There's also a deep call within us. Our neshama wants to be holy, wants to get to that place of redemption, of dveikus with Hashem, of just being free, of being free from all the things that we're not free from, that block us, that stifle the voice from coming out, from being expressed. And it's just like a deep sound that needs to be expressed. And it's so comforting to know that there's an address to it. There's an address. The voice and the sound ascend. And there's no call, ein call, that does not go up. Ein kol sheino le lemala. There's no sound that doesn't go up. Okay, so a little bit more. And like understanding it in a deeper way. The implications, it's what Dina said. There's implications. There are deep spiritual implications in all the worlds, that our thoughts that produce the sound that eventually get uttered into words, but even if they're not formulated into words, and even if the words are stay in us, and even if it's just a groan, a krefts, what Chana Gold said yesterday, that sigh, even if it's just a sigh, it's a sound. It affects all spiritual realms. It goes very high. Even a voice and a sound that seems to have no value, because we decided it doesn't have any value. And guess who says it has value? Hashem says it has value. And Rabbi Shimon says there is no sound that does not reverberate and goes out into the world and ascends on high and is heard on high.
Is that including like all humans and
all creations?
Birds,
Yes. He said this, like even a makkah, even any sound that's produced. That's the Kabbalah and the Chassidus of this teaching, that there's spiritual implications, there's spiritual reasons, there's spiritual significance to mamish everything.
Yeah, I was laughing because like our Moshe right now, the reality there is
Oh, they're drilling
all day long, or tractors backing up all day long. So what is that doing in the universe? It's like all of us inside are like it's insane.
You'll do your bodedut on it, and you'll report back on what all that means.
There you go. Yeah, it's happening everywhere, but by us,
The crane.
we're not used to it.
Okay.
You know that you're on solid ground.
Hopefully, we're on.
They're building at Yeshiva Eretz Yisrael, so this follows up yesterday's class.
Yeshiva
Eretz Yisrael, it's beautiful sounds of building the land. Okay, so this pasuk, ein omer ve'ein dvarim bli nishma kolam. There's no utterance, no words that their voice is not heard, even when there's no sound coming out. It's like you'd think it's like only when you hear the sound
That it exists.
that it exists.
Mhm.
But here the deep meaning is even if it's not heard, it's reverberating you, it's very deep. Even when it's not understood, even if it's not heard consciously, it still ascends and it still influences and is mashpia on the whole entire world. So what this is saying is that the communication of sound in the Gashmi, it's not just a Gashmi thing. It's a very ruchani thing. It's very spiritual. It's a very spiritual act. The ability to have these sounds, the ability to make sound. God created the world with speech. And we're created in the image of God, but Elohim, which means we have that power. So this fits into, it creates reality. And everything you think, sometimes you just throw out a word. You just say, masiti, klum, masiti. So I said it. So what? No, it's not so what. It's like you said it. Now it's there. And it ascended. And it has its effect. Be mindful of that because it creates a spiritual reality. Every sound, even the quiet sounds within us, is a reflection of a spiritual reality that it's rooted in because a thought produced it. But then once it's expressed even silently, it has its spiritual implications beyond. So what do we learn from this? We have to,
Everyone knows how, like, when you walk, if you're early riser, when you walk out in the morning and the birds are singing and everything is just like, it fills you up with like light and simcha and,
Right. Right.
and then, but if you walk in traffic, it has a different effect on you. Like,
Okay.
everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Sort of,
So the work is walk in traffic
and
as if you're
still-
as if
right,
you're hearing
so
birds.
that's what I was
Bezat
listening
Hashem,
to.
amen.
Somebody wrote a symphony of
Right, for sure, yeah.
For what? Of
Of all
traffic?
the different
Traffic
sounds, yeah, the
sounds.
traffic
That would be
sounds.
cool.
They
Okay.
did. I've forgotten his name.
Okay.
They did. Philip
So
Glass.
even if what's his name?
Philip Glass.
Philip Glass. So even if we just stam, there's no stam. There's no stam. How do you translate stam? There's no stam. Stam. Because everything imprints and influences and has an influence and has significance. So for sure, prayers and good words that we say, for sure, they activate so much good in this world. Even tefillot that we don't even understand, because we're just saying them. Like you say to him, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Just say it.
Say it. Say it, even if you don't understand, because the sound that is produced by the words that you're uttering with the tefillah, even if you don't understand, has their impression, as long as they're coming really from the heart.
Remember the story
That's
of
the
the
potency.
traffic accident where someone was hurt very badly and a woman in her car just started saying to him.
Yes.
And then I don't know, sometime later when he recovered, he called her up and he said, your words, I saw exactly
Wow.
your words
Yeah.
healed me. Like, it was a story
Wow.
a
He
few
was out of
years
his
ago.
body.
He was out of
and
his body. He saw
And he
her
saw
words.
somebody, a
He saw
woman
her
praying
words.
for her,
He
but
saw
even
her
if
words.
she didn't even know him, she just heard about this accident, she's touched.
She was stuck in
Shevach
traffic.
Shemolad.
Yeah.
Amazing,
It was
amazing. It's an amazing story. Perfect case in point. Thank you so much. And so if you want the more positive effect it will have, is rooted in also, it's like the sincerity of the heart. The sincerity of the heart, even if the sincerity of the heart, that's the problem here. That when we say stam things, it has an effect, but what kind of effect is it having?
Well, it's interesting. Stam is the word used for scribe.
Scribe.
It's not stam.
It should not be stam. It should be sefer Torah mezuzot. Sefer Torah mezuzot. The stam should be stam with an abbreviation mark in it. Right. Right. It's actually very
Why
deep
is
what
it
you just
called
said.
that? Yeah.
It's an acronym for Sifrei Torah v'mezuzot. So Sefer Torah, Tefillin v'mezuzot. Okay, so they, but when they come out of the heart and you're plugged into it, warm with it. Tears are dropping. Like, you know what I'm talking about, like when you're warm with it and you're hot with it, when you're so when you touch, when you utter sounds of prayer, and it comes from the heart, and if it's a gauge is moving you to cry, because that means that the heart is totally plugged into the whole experience, the body experience of what prayer is. Also, it's not just words, it's a whole immersive thing. And when you touch upon truth, it's like a little bit, you're touching upon prophecy. You're shaken up. Prophecy means like there's like a clarity of understanding that I'm before Hashem now. My soul is communicating, it's feeling its source. There's a met there. And today is Tiferet of Netzach, Yistabach Shemon. Tiferet is all about truth and inner harmony and beauty and balance, compassion, of Netzach, of endurance, of staying plugged in, even when it's difficult, not to let go of the heart. So, really, the Zohar Kadosh is saying all sound, even technical sound, even this tractor sounds and the beeping of horns and everything, and natural sounds in the world that nature produces. And who said it yesterday? Yesterday, 2 days ago, what? That there's this apparatus. No, the Chana Golda said there's an apparatus that actually can pick up the song of plants. Right?
The plants.
Every plant has its own song, mamash. That's the Torah tells us. But it's a sound, and it's its own music. It's its own communication. It's its own. It's not like vibration. It's not like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, but whatever it is on the level of plant, it's a beautiful sound that expresses. That's the whole premise of Perek Shirah, of the Song of the Universe, that we say every item in creation has its own pasuk that it sings. Whether you hear it or not, it's singing it, and and what are they singing? They're singing to Hashem.
Is trying to help you find your soul,
Yes.
like the way they have.
And you have to come Tuesday morning. I'm telling you, change your schedules and come Tuesday. You'll thank me.
But then I have to tell everyone else to change theirs. I don't think that can happen. But maybe I could come 2 days, once at least.
Come. It's at 10 a.m. Tuesdays. 11:15.
Here, also here.
Here. I teach a class before that. Don't come to my class. Just come to her. Seriously, just come to her. Okay, so everything. Now, I'm going to give you from a few other sources about that they pick up on this Eino Mel Vein Dvarim B'li Nishma Kalam, this whole sound. So the Tanya Kadosh, Sefer Tanya, Shara Yichud V'Emunah, Perek Aleph. Baal Tanya says, he explains this, that every word that a Kadosh Baruch Hu spoke the world into existence continues to keep on creating. It's still poel, still is in action, and it tamid, in order to sustaining life always. This is the kel chai. It's amazing how all the classes are coming together, but it's not really kel chai. But you have kel chai there. But it's sound. It's Hashem's words that said vayehi, and vayehi, let it be, and then it was. That this is always like the God spoken word is always there, always there, always there. And God forbid, the Baal Tanya says, if it would stop, then poof, we're not here anymore. Because that's what's that's what created creation, that's what's keeping creation going. So, and if Hashem, so the Baal Tanya, what we learned from this, if Hashem spoke the world into existence, and we're created in Tzelem Elokim, then we also have that power. Our speech creates reality. And not only that, but you think you said it, and then you said it, and now it's not there anymore. But just as God spoken the world into existence, and His voice is still maintaining the world into existence, the words that we utter are there, and they're there. and you can't take it back. You can do tshuva for it, and you can clean up, and you can shift the vibrations from negativity to positivity by making up for the negativity that you generated into this world through the thoughts and sounds that we came out of our mouth, and thoughts and insight that even didn't come out of our mouth.
So amazing that you speak about that, because we think of the Shema Yisrael, right?
Listen to Israel, yeah.
So then the Baal Tanya says of today in the time.
And the Hayom Yom of today, yeah, no.
Today he speaks about it. You have to say the Shema with love.
With love, beautiful. Because this also, the Baal Tanya says it, and the Rabbi Nachman, we know, he speaks a lot about tefillah bekoach. You have to say it bekoach, with force. Your ears have to hear what your mouth is saying, so that the heart will hear it. And it's just such another total different experience. And then it has mamashut, it was a mamashut, it has reality in this world. Now, okay, so everything we say on the positive, of course, how we have to be careful, because speech has a spiritual implication to it. It's not just the words. What do you call those machines? Graphology. They pick up the sound and they graph the sound. No. The graphs of.
Seismic? Like, sorry, earthquake?
No. When you speak, it creates. It registers on a graph. I don't know what it's called. I'm lacking. Okay. Anyway, so then another place in the Zohar that speaks about this precious truma. The sound waves get graphed. Okay, yeah, I guess if you can come. Okay, also, yeah, well, there are sound waves. That's what we're talking about. Now, about this, about sound that's not heard. What do you call sound that's not heard?
The sound of silence.
Beautiful.
Hello, darkness. my old
Somebody
Hello,
said it
darkness,
before
my
you.
Okay, sound of silence. Beautiful. So about this, because silence also has a sound. Because if you're mindful about your silence, if there's a reason why you're being silent, it's an inner sound, it's an inner voice, it's a kol pnimi that's saying, quiet. It's still a sound. You're not, even quiet has a sound, because if you're consciously keeping quiet. So about this, the Zohar says, Milah besela shtika betrei. Let's say if words are worth $10, silence is worth double that. Silence is worth so much more than the uttered word. Why? Because one way of understanding this, I mean, I'm sure you have your own understanding of this as I said it, but the Zohar emphasizes this, the great value, the spiritual value of measured speech. And in measured speech, you have silence, moments of silence. And they are so important. The pause. And I have to tell you that in Sefer Vayikra, the first Rashi of Vayikra is about the pauses, is about the white space in between the words that are written in the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the white space, the space between Vayomer Elokim, Vayidaber Hashem El Moshe Leimor, Vayidaber Leimor. God spoke to Moses saying, he spoke to Moshe. There's a communication. There's a deep communication there before the words actually came and expressed what that communication was all about. And if we don't pause, if we don't give time for silence, we'll miss out on the depth of what it is that's meant to be communicated. You'll be missing something. It's so deep. And in that case, if silence comes from measured speech, because you're weighing, am I going to say this or am I not going to say this? And you're pausing and you're silent, this has, if words affect and you can measure it, quantify it with $100, then or $1 million, then silence is worth so much more than that, double than that, 2 million, whatever it is. That silence in between the speech. And this is very otzmati. How do you say otzmati?
Powerful.
This is very powerful, not and even more powerful than the word sometimes. And it's a sound. The Ramchal on this, in Derech Hashem, in the fourth part of Derech Hashem, he teaches there that speech, especially words of tefillah, mamash, create change, spiritual change in the worlds, not just in the upper realms. It creates a commotion in the upper realms. Creates commotion. It goes there, it ascends up there, is heard up there, it reverberates how it reverberates. It's heard, it's taken in, and then it affects the spiritual realm. What does that mean, affects the spiritual realm? It decides, it becomes a deciding factor of what the spiritual realms are going to then shower back down to us based on our words. So powerful. And so the Baal Shem Tov, by opening up Kedoshim to you with this, it's like so, you want to be holy, you want to be Kadosh, you want to plug in to holiness. Start by noticing the sounds that are within you, uttered or unuttered. And that will be the key to Kedoshim. Because there's no sound that is not preceded by a thought, by a premise. I'm hurt. Why am I hurt? What is my krecht coming from? Oi, I need your Yeshua Hashem. I recognize it's not the doctors, it's only you that can help. Right? And if it's expressed on the negative, then it's the negative. It's the false beliefs that we believe. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. I can eat some worms now. Nobody loves me. It's you understand, it's like there's no sound, there's no even correct, there's no sigh that is not rooted within a conscious or unconscious thought that it's sitting on, that it's coming from, that it's stemming from. And in our anatomy, the machshava is above the mouth. It's the root, everything else that comes from it. So in Yeshayahu, there's a pasuk in Yeshayahu that says, Ki lo yeshuv elai rekam. Ki lo yeshuv elai rekam. It's from Perek 55, verse 11. It shall not return to me empty. Or more fully, it shall not return to me void. This pasuk, on the one hand, speaks about God's words being put out into the universe. And if you have spiritual ears, and the more you're mekadesh yourself, the more you want to hear this, your heart will hear it. And whispers in your heart, you will hear it. That whisper in your heart. You know what I'm talking about, the whisper in your heart? A moment of clarity that comes in the heart with a deep understanding. No words, just came to you.
You know what helps me a lot is like what you taught us in this introduction to the Sulam.
Yeah.
That everything has a chitzoniut and a pnimiut.
Right.
And if you only look at the chitzoniut, you think it's falling apart. There's no hope, forget it.
Right. But there's
if you
pnimiut.
remember that there's always a pnimiut, that tikkunim are happening behind the scenes. You don't see it.
Yeah. So
but it's happening.
Right. So to connect it to Kedoshim, it's like there's an inner call beyond all the chitzon. It's funny. I had this conversation on WhatsApp with somebody yesterday. It's there's the chitzoni. Actually, I said that there's related to the heart. Yesh lev veyesh lev. Because I had a moment and I said, "Where's my heart?" I was like, and I wrote a poem. It made me feel better. It's a good poem. Whatever, it's good.
I also was looking for a poem that I want to read at the end of the class, but I can't find it.
Okay, so, but then there's like, so a person can relate it occurred to me in terms of Kedoshim to you, because so much of Kedoshim to you is V'ahavta l'recha kamocha, lo tisa alav ched, al tisneh et achicha b'levavecha, don't hate your brother in your heart, and all kinds of things. Don't hold grudges, and it's beautiful. This Kedoshim to you is full of instructions and guidance of how to be holy, what it should look like in real time. At least, bring the structures into your life, and you'll see the pnimius will be affected by it. But so much of the grief that we have with ourselves and with people is that we only relate to the chitzoni heart and not the pnimi heart. We relate to the chitzoni words that were spoken and not what's underlying it.
What's chitzoni mean?
Chitzoni means external. It's the superficial that covers the internal, that covers the depth, the essence of something. So let's say a child tells his mother, "You don't love me." What? But what's he actually saying?
I need love.
I need attention. It means love me. So the mother can say, "What an ungrateful kid. I just made lunch for him and did everything for him and I don't love him." What? Based on what is he saying this? She's not hearing the sound and the voice and the thought and the depth of feeling and the neshama that were in those words. She's got stuck on the chitzoni words and the externals, and then that's what happened, and then fights happen, arguments, because we're not. So Kedoshim to you is like a call to hear the inner voice, the inner essence of the person. We have to see the inner essence of ourselves. Hashem saying Kedoshim to you. I believe in you. It's a promise. It's not a theoretical thing. It's not just thou shalt be based on this guidebook. It's like, no, you're going to get there in all the ways that we want to get there. And it's not void. So the words Ki lo yashuv elai rekam, it will not come back to me empty. In other words, this is how Hashem operates in this world. This is how Hashem's voices were there. The opportunity to plug into Hashem's voice is always there. We just have to develop the ears to hear it. Developing the ears to hear it means our neshama needs to want to hear it. Now, I'm not talking about musar or doing tshuva or anything, just because we know we're sackfuls of all kinds of things that need to be fixed. Even with all the sackful of things that need to be fixed, there's a deeper sound, a calling, a hurt, a yearning. I so want to be okay with you, Hashem, in my body, with my neshama. I want to be holy. I want to be one. I want to be unified. And that just with all of whatever else you need to do tshuva for, forget that for now. First, find that voice in you that says, I so want to be holy. And from that place, go and do your correcting of your being, do I need to say, did I hold back saying thank you from somebody? And maybe I should say thank you to them right now. Or maybe I should say sorry for some words that I said. But it has to come from a place of, I can be holy. So why am I not? It's my essence. And I'm hearing that voice and I'm hearing Hashem telling this to me. And from that place going and then doing all the cleanup work of all the speech bad speech, good speech, whatever was out there needing to be fixed or not fixed.
Just sorry to interrupt, but that's Rachem Elai, V'kabel Takanumai, Milfanenu, Rachem.
Yeah.
It's Milfanenu, don't send me back empty. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's another
what I often seen when I'm.
Oh my gosh, you're so deep. That's why you're here, and that's why we love you. And that's why this is the best holiest group everywhere. Okay, so good. So how about some journaling? You're interested? Anyone? First of all, before I give you some reflections to take this into. So what do we do with this after we just spoke? Anyone want to reflect anything from? No, we're good. Yeah.
But a lot of times, because I have like a jukebox inside of songs from the 60s and 70s, pretty much in maybe the 80s a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking
And
about
then I
laughing
kinda,
before
like,
you came.
close
It's
the
okay.
eyes.
Yeah.
And what I find is a song will come up,
Beautiful.
and I've learned what are
That-
the words in that song, and that will
It's
point me to where I'm.
beautiful. Your neshama came up with it because your shama knew that it's in your storehouse of storehouses of all kinds of files that we carry within us, and the soul just knew what you were feeling, and it just
And I mean,
gave it to you. That's
if
the
I listen,
nefesh
I'll say,
speaking.
What's that song? And you're
Beautiful.
like, oh,
In other words, it's not stem.
it's not stuff.
It's like to relate to what I'm blanking. What Renee was saying before. It's like a random thought comes to you. It's not random. Your nefesh produced it to you, brought it up to you. Pay attention to it. It's a communication. It's so deep. It's so deep. Okay. If anybody needs a pencil, or here's a paper if you want. I'm gonna give you some. Everybody has. If anybody has, there's paper and there's pencils here. So, okay.
Got my journal, everything in one place.
Okay. Here it is. Reflection, the spiritual echo of my words. Reflection. There is no voice that does not rise upward. No word is ever uttered in vain. Think of 3 things you said over the past few days. It could be a conversation, a kind word, or something said in anger. For each of them, ask yourself, what was the intention behind the words? We're going into deep in the kishkas, even if it's hurt and painful, okay? We're going, it's tiferet shebenetzach here, man. We've got to be truthful. Because there's inner beauty and harmony and balance through truth.
First, we have to remember our conversation.
Okay, so that's it. No. Think now we know. Let me just be the voice it carries in the room right now, and everybody give a chance to reflect. Okay, think of 3 things you said over the past few days, or it could be 1, or it could be 2. Okay, we can be flexible here. It could be a conversation, a kind word, or something said in anger. For each of them, ask yourself, what was the intention behind the words? How do you think the other person felt? If these words rise upward, what kind of reality do they create? Should I repeat the questions? What was the intention behind the words? How do you think the other person felt? If these words rise upward, as the Zohar teaches, what kind of reality do they create? I'll give you a few minutes to write that up. If you need me to repeat any of the questions or instructions, tell me.
Yeah, repeat it one more time. I'm ready.
Okay, the 1, 2, or 3 things: a conversation, a kind word, or something said in anger, or a kind word, or an anger. Just choose something that sticks. So the first thing that comes in your mind is usually the thing that you should go with. Either a kind word you said, a conversation that you're recalling now, or something said in anger. And for each of these things, ask yourself, what was the intention behind the words? 2, how do you think the other person felt? 3, if these words rise upward, what kind of reality do they create? Just want to tell you that I love you guys so much. I'll give you 1 more minute and we'll move to the next. Ready for your next instruction? Ooh, you guys have a lot to read. Baruch Hashem. Okay, step number 2. New intention. If both silence and speech create, what will I choose to create today? What kind of speech do you want to create today? What inner voice is worth listening to before speaking?
If both silence and speech create.
If both silence and speech create,
If
what
both what?
silence and
and
speech
speech create,
create, what will I choose to create today?
Mhm. Mhm.
What kind of speech do you want to create today? What inner voice is worth listening to before speaking? And come up with like a mantra, like write it out in the one line, like a mantra as an intention for today. This should not be so wordy. You should be able to, like, succinctly say it to yourself. When you're done, I'll give you the final exercise. It's journaling. Ready? No. You guys are deepest of the deep. Okay, the third, final part of this exercise, spiritual action. Write a short letter, short, guys, okay. Write a short letter, even if you don't send it, to someone you feel you spoke to without proper attention. Or write a silent blessing to yourself or to someone else, expressing healing or strength through speech. Should I repeat that?
Yes.
Okay, two choices here. A, write a short letter to someone, even if you don't send it. Write a short letter to someone you feel you spoke to without proper attention. In other words, you weren't mindful before the words came out. Or write a silent blessing to yourself. Okay, or write a silent blessing to yourself or to someone else, expressing healing or strength through speech. That's a weird wording, right? What do I mean to say by that? Do you know what I meant to say by that? What was the last thing? Could have given you other exercise, but this is what came up. So
Fragrances.
You know that?
silent, like a bracha to yourself or to others, to somebody else.
That's why they can't come to dance.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
Okay.
But the whole time I thought about, because I'm sorry, in touch with people who parents are deaf.
Oh,
And then this whole, like, what does this all mean when you don't have that
yeah,
hearing?
it's a whole other parsha.
So,
A
thank
whole
God.
other.
And my hearing is diminishing, but thank God I can hear.
Baruch Hashem ad mea v'esrei.
She hears funny things sometimes. We get to laugh a lot.
Okay, shh, people are ready. Let's. Dina, you're muted.
So much.
What?
I don't want to talk loud because I don't want to bother, but I just want to say thank you so much. And like last night, I had like a thing with one of my kids, and it was like very painful. Like I went to bed and like it was really upsetting to me, and it's just like it was a lot of like just you addressing it and getting me to think about it, and Bezrat Hashem can like heal and repair everything and repair. But
That's not the Shem. Yeah, because what you're bringing up is part of the part of speaking is also hearing the sound. So we need to hear each other. Bezrat Hashem, especially parents and children, so complicated sometimes. Bezrat Hashem, our hearts will be open. Okay, so now, does anybody want to share? Does anybody want to share what they came up with, or it's too private? We can just leave it at that. Dina, you can mute yourself now because now. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm also going to leave actually because I have to do
Okay.
something now that
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was very special having you here. That was Rebbitzin 100, by the way. Maybe it's just my Okay, anyone want to share something based on this? No,
Yes,
but
I'll just say.
or just the
Some synopsis. Right?
so not the thing, but the exercise itself, or where it landed with you.
Very good exercise because it reinforced what you were saying at your masiba, that one of the things you want to work on is to listen better.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that, like, I asked you how to have a conversation recently, and to request in that conversation before I have it the tool of reflecting back.
Beautiful.
Instead of,
Yes.
because then the other person becomes defensive.
Right. They have to feel heard
Yeah.
and validated and present, and then you say what you say, and then they have a vessel to receive what you have to say. Are you ready to receive? The person has to be ready to receive. Okay. Thank you. Shavua Tov. Zat Hashem. We'll get to be holy. Chana, you want to say something? Thank you for bringing the Baal Shem Tov to us. It's in your zchut. And we should the voice of the captives being held in captivity should be heard on high, and may they come out Bezrat Hashem soon, released today. Bezrat Hashem. Okay, Kol Tu.